everyone, welcome back to Comfy Cozy Crochet with Tris. I am Tris, and this is a requested video I'm actually doing. Several people have requested that I do a video simply to show you guys the finished products that I have made, specifically some of the blankets that I made my son. I had a couple people say, please show us the baby blankets that you finished. Now, a few of them actually aren't finished because they were larger or more difficult patterns, and some of those have been discussed in my previous UFO videos. I will link number 1 and 2 down below. Yes, I had that many, but never fear, I have finished a few of them since the makings of those videos, thank goodness, and I do plan on continuing to get those kind of checked off and finished. But I do have, I believe, 5 to show you today that are finished and complete, and some of them you have seen, some of them you have not. I will be discussing the patterns involved, the hook size that I used if I recorded that at the time. Some of these are some of my earlier works. I will do my best to provide you with at least some information as to the yarns that I've used, and just generally kind of show you what I did. So if that's something you're interested in, please stick around. Also, a little bit of admin. I also wanted to say that Kathy did go ahead and let me know that she received her gift card in the mail. She was the winner for my 500 subscribers giveaway, if you've seen that video. And also the winner announcement was the next video, and she did contact me. She did edit her comment, prove that she was who she was, and she's already received her Amazon gift card. So congratulations again, Kathy. Super, super excited for you. I really hope you enjoy that and spend it on something fun, okay? All right, so let's just get into it. The first blanket that I've got here is a C2C, which stands for corner to corner blanket that I made for Grant. This is using Bella Coco's corner to corner pattern here on YouTube. Her name is Sarah Jane. She's fabulous. Most people know her. She's a British gal who really knows her stuff. I'll put it down below for you. And this is just a square corner to corner. See what I can do about standing up and moving backward a little for you. It's quite large. I would say it's probably at least 4 by 4. And this is using Bernat Baby Blanket Tiny, or Tiny Baby Blanket. I can't remember which way they word that, but this was not my favorite yarn to work with. It was very, very hard to see stitches, which is why I ended up making a corner to corner with it. Originally, I did not plan that. I don't actually remember what my original plan was. But I do distinctly remember talking to my friend Jessie and going, what am I gonna do? I can't see my stitches. I remember chaining. And for one thing, it's a number 3 yarn, as most baby yarns are. On top of that, I have an extremely, extremely tight tension. And that was back when I actually listened to yarn labels and went with what they said. So they wanted me to use a G hook with this, which is pretty small. Knowing what I know now, I would have gone up to an H or an I hook. Which H is a 5mm for those of you who aren't familiar with US terminology, and an I is a 5.5 or a 5.75, 5.5, I believe. So I would have gone up a hook size, and I probably would have been able to see a little bit better, but I couldn't even see my chains. It was so bad. I could not count to see if I had the correct amount of chains to start a project, let alone see my stitches or anything else. So I went ahead and did a C2C, which, as we all know, we're working in the spaces instead of in the stitches, which makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so the colors we've got going on here is we have Snowcap, which is the white here. Then we have Sunflower, which is this yellow. This Variegated, which is a white, yellow, and aqua, is called Dandelion Skies. The blue or aqua color here, this one here, kind of a dusty aqua, is called Clear Sky, and Gray Owl is this gray color. So we're just working with those 5 colors. Here are they, there you can see all 5 colors in the screen pretty well. And I actually saw the variegated yarn and loved it, and then went searching for, hey, what are the other colors in this yarn? Do they have the solids to match? And then I threw in the gray because I'm a sucker for anything gray. To be quite honest, I'm very, very boring when it comes to neutrals, and I love gray. I like some others too, but my sister used to tease me and go like, whose favorite color is taupe? Really? That's so boring and totally you. What's wrong with you? Because I like a really good taupe, especially if it's not on the green range, but it's more on the between a gray, beige, and purple, like that side of the taupe. Oh, love it. So anyway, so that's how I kind of chose the colors for this blanket, is I saw this variegated here. Again, give you a little bit of an up close look at that. And I just said, oh, I have to do something with that. And it was soft, and it's so, I mean, it's basically just a smaller version of their baby yarn, or of their blanket yarn, excuse me. So it's super soft and squishy and snuggly. And so I thought, okay, you know, I'm not usually a big fan of working with the blanket yarns, but I'm going to try it out since I'm having a baby. I just wanted to spend money on yarn to celebrate I was having a baby, let's be real. So this is that. I know I used a J hook on it. And there are colors that were discontinued. I don't know which. I'm super sorry about that, but just to let you know, some of these colors are discontinued in the Bernat Tiny Baby Blanket, or Baby Blanket Tiny, however that's supposed to be read. But some of the colors are still available. I know that the yarn is still available, depending on where you're shopping. I ended up finding the rest of the yarn to finish this up on Amazon. So there is number 1. And this was very well loved and used when he was a little bit younger. Now he's kind of at a weird stage, right, as a toddler, that he's not really liking to snuggle up with them on his own quite yet, and maybe he never will as a rambunctious boy. But before he was mobile, you know, he would take naps on me, or while we were breastfeeding or whatever. We used this a lot, and we also used this in the stroller quite often when he was younger, but it's a little bit big and he tended to kick this one off. So there's that. I'm referring to my notes a bit here, so excuse me. The next one is the Summer Boardwalk blanket. The next blanket I have to share with you is actually a pattern that I found via Pinterest called the Summer Boardwalk blanket. This pattern is by Rebecca Langford, and I found it on her blog Yarn and Chai. This is using Hobby Lobby yarn, their brand of yarn called Yarn Bee, in the Sweet Delight variety, which is specifically made for babies. That's what this one looks like. This one is most often, just kind of show you, it's not very big. It's most often used in his stroller or car seat when we go for walks. We go for long walks as a family every single day, weather permitting. And even sometimes if it's sprinkling a little. We do live in Washington State, so you gotta make do, you know. But this one, as you can see, is much less wide. So this is a perfect stroller blanket for him. And again, I found this variegated color, and this is what just completely drew me in. The photos on Pinterest just absolutely drew me in. The heavy use of the variegated, which turns out so beautifully, and then drawing in on other colors used. Then it just has a simple 1x1 ribbing there. I don't know if that's really showing up. There we go, a little bit better. on either side as the border, and no border here on the sides, which I really enjoy. So this yarn was an absolute delight to work with. Oh my goodness, no pun intended. It's called Sweet Delight. Didn't realize I was going to use the same verbiage. So while this ribbing did take quite a while to do on either side, just because it's real simple stitching, you know, all singles, everything in this blanket is single crochet. So this took me a long time, and halfway through it, I was vowing I was never doing a single crochet anything ever again. I'll work with half doubles. I'm not doing singles ever again. That's probably a never say never thing. But anyway, so this was a bit of a tedious blanket, but oh my gosh, it's definitely one of the most used. In fact, it's probably a bit dirty. I apologize. But the ribbing took a while, but I really loved the modern take on just ribbing on either side, almost kind of more like a rug. I don't know why I always think of it like a rug. But anyway, that was a really cool idea, and I plan on doing that again for more blankets in the future. So now onto the yarn. As I said, this is from Hobby Lobby. It is the Yarn Bee Sweet Delight, and let me tell you the colors. This white here is called Angel. The variegated is called Tricycle Time Print. That's what that looks like. Just got a real beautiful gradual shift into the different colors. The aqua is called Surf Baby. And then we've got Cloudy, which I think is this one here. And then we've got the Toy Elephant, which is just a bit darker gray. They both are gray. A lot of times this ends up looking tan and taupe. They are both gray. And in fact, this one is a very steely kind of gray. Why it always picks up more brown on camera, I will never know. I did notice that it did the same thing for her in her blog and some of her photos as well. But it definitely is gray, so don't be fooled by my pictures or the video or the pictures online, because it is gray, not to worry. Also, anything I've spoken about will be linked down below, all patterns, all tutorials. So look down there if you're interested in making any of these yourself, okay? So that is the second one. This is really, really soft, very durable, well loved and used. He is about to be 16 months old, my son Grant. He uses this nearly every single day going for walks. It's probably dirty, like I said, and it just gets softer and softer. It's really not doing a whole bunch of pilling. Very happy with the way that worked up, and I do plan on making more with this particular yarn in the future. The next blanket I have to share with you is just my very first granny square, well, anything actually, but I made it into a baby blanket using Rebecca from Blossom Crochet's tutorial here on YouTube. Again, I'll link that down below for you. It is her seamless granny square, and this is just a very traditional granny square blanket. And I will go ahead and show you here. This is one that you may have seen in at least one video as kind of a background blanket, but as it is square, it doesn't make as good of a background. But there is that, so you can see some of the colors up close. Hopefully that's picking up true to color. And this blanket is made with Bernat Softy Baby. This is definitely a yarn that I will be using again and again. I hope they never get rid of it. Unfortunately, they have already discontinued a few of the colors made in this blanket. But I absolutely adored working with it. I do wish that it was a number 4 instead of a number 3. Again, why are all these baby blankets number 3s? But this was a joy to work with. It does have a really beautiful luster or sheen to it, much like maybe Karen Simply Soft, but without as much splitting, I found. and it's just really, really soft, but we're talking more satiny soft rather than fuzzy or plush or, you know, not like blanket yarn, more like a sateen, okay? And so the colors that I used with this, again, Bernat Softy Baby. So from the center, this is the aqua. And then I went to the gray, which is called flannel. Next, I used the multi, which is called Prince Pebbles. And then soft green here, which is this gorgeous like apple green. It is not lime. It is very soft and beautiful, perfect for baby, perfect for springtime. If I were making a shawl for myself that I wanted to be that perfect spring green, that's that one. And then the white, and then mint. So this is what we're calling aqua here. This is what we are calling mint. And this is what we are calling spring green. So aqua, mint, green. And I am seeing that that mint is not showing up terribly well on camera. It's more vivid in person. And there you can see it a bit better with the border. But again, just oddly enough, not picking up how beautiful this one right here is. Really, really loved that mint color, okay? So, I again used a G hook or a 4.5 millimeter. And for the border, the first one has no border. It's just a C to C, and I usually prefer corner to corner blankets without a border. The second one I showed you, I just did the 1x1 ribbing as is listed in the pattern. For this one, there really was no pattern listed, so I did a double crochet all the way around in the aqua, and then I did a crab stitch border. Is that going to show up at all? There we go. Slightly. So pretty hard to see in a thin yarn, but that is how that worked out. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches in each corner to make that around. I did find that I really enjoyed the crab stitch as a border, but I will say a lot of people said, oh, do the crab stitch. It is so beautiful. It's so easy to do. Super, super simple. Go ahead and do that. And I will say a lot of bang for your buck as far as it's not an intricate stitch or an intricate border, but it really does have a pop. But it really hurt my hand to single crochet backward. I had a very sore wrist for a couple of days finishing this up, and I remember going, please let me be done. I'll never do this again. I think I will do it again because I really, really like the look of it. But it definitely took a toll on my poor wrist. So there is that one, and this one is probably 4.5 by 4.5 feet. Pretty decent sized granny square. So there is that one. And this one has not gotten used as much, mainly because I wasn't 100% certain that this was going to be for Grant. I originally picked it out for Grant, and then I just wasn't sure that all the aquas and mints and soft greens were necessarily, I wasn't so sure that it wasn't kind of girly. So it has mostly just sat on the back of the couch and just kind of been my friend. But when he's older, if he decides he likes it, he can have it because I love it. And it's not pink, for crying out loud. I don't know why it screams girl to me, but it does a bit. So there is that one. And I believe I gave you all of the specs. Unfortunately, I do not remember how many skeins I used of each color or how many skeins per project, so I do apologize for that. I don't have exact information for you there, but there's that. So we have 2 more. So the very first blanket that I ever made for Grant, when I found out I was pregnant with him, I waited to crochet anything baby related until I found out the gender. And the day that we found out the gender, we found out we were having a boy. The very next day, I went to Joann's intent on blowing some money. I wanted to go and just stock up on all of the boy yarn that I could think of to make several baby blankets for him, and I did some damage. I did happen upon a really, really good sale. I think it was something like all yarn was 30 or 40% off, and then I also had a save 20% off your entire purchase including sale items kind of thing. So I went a bit hog wild and got a lot of yarn, but most of it did get used up actually. I did actually follow through and make a lot of baby blankets for him, as you can see for some of these. This one was the very first one I made, and I started it in the parking lot of Joann's because I was actually going to go pick my husband up. He commutes to Seattle every single day. We live about 45 minutes to an hour south of there, in a suburb, and I was gonna go meet him about half of the way up there, in a town called Tukwila, if anybody cares. And we met at the and I was gonna pick him up at the train station there and go to lunch or go to dinner, excuse me. And so I was a little early after shopping in Joann's, and so I just waited for him in the parking lot while I started crocheting. I didn't have a pattern in mind, so I just started a plain old C2C, super easy. Again, I used Bella Coco's tutorial, so two of these are technically the same. And this is in Burnout Softy Baby Stripe is the name of the yarn. The colorway is called Sunny Side Up. And if you know me, you know that I am really not fond of the color orange. Especially this very bright traffic cone type of orange. But I really loved these colors together. I loved how bright and happy they were, and I especially love this blue and aqua. Or a blue and kind of soft mint. This is actually almost exactly the same color as the mint in the other one, and of course it's yet again not really showing up very well at all. But the blue here and the mint and the blue here, I just really thought was pretty. I loved the happy yellows, and I wanted something boyish that wasn't just blue and gray. Okay, just blue, you know. I wanted something happy and fun and vibrant that a baby or a kid would really love and be attracted to the bright colors. So this is what I came up with. Again, this one's kind of a big baby blanket, probably 4.5 by 4.5. And I did not color control this in the slightest. I believe I used something like 6 or 7 skeins of this yarn. This project even went with me on a road trip to and from Arizona. My grandparents are snowbirds, and they go down there, but my papa flies his little plane back up, and then he drives down and gets her and goes back up or whatnot. So I decided to fly down there and drive her back up. And we kind of had a girls' week and got to hang out a little bit, had some fun in the sun, and then come up together. And so, believe it or not, we ended up stopped in Laughlin, Nevada just overnight, and I had run out of yarn, and I just happened to look out the window as we were pulling out pretty early in the morning, getting ready to go on our next leg of the journey, and I said, Graham, there's the Joann's right there. Do you mind if I pull in and get a cake of yarn? Are you just gonna kill me about that? And she goes, absolutely not. We're right here. Why wouldn't you? So I even stopped and got yarn on my road trip. So I have a lot of really awesome memories associated with this blanket. In addition, my other grandmother, who is actually one of the ones who kind of inspired me to get started crocheting, she helped me immensely, even though she had no idea how to crochet a corner-to-corner blanket. But this blanket started unraveling when Grant was about 5 or 6 months old, it started coming apart. And I immediately started crying and was about to lose my mind. The hormones were raging at the time. We were very, very sleep deprived. And I thought, oh my gosh, no way. It's like a bad omen. How is the very first baby blanket I ever made my son going to start falling apart before he was even a year old? He's not even old enough to be rough with it. And I started texting my grandmother, and she said, I don't know what a C-to-C stitch is. I've never done a corner to corner, but if you bring it this summer when you come to your cousin's wedding, I'll gladly, help you figure it out. And she did. And I'm trying to find the spot. I'm not even sure I'll be able to see the thing. She did such a good job. Right here. So can you see? How do I show that? My goodness. So do you see just right here is where that started to come apart, right in here. And I just wanted to cry. And so bless her heart, she studied it for a minute, and I kind of explained to her what the corner to corner stitch looks like and kind of what each block is made up of. And she goes, okay, I've got a G hook right here. And she took it out of her little side table, and she just figured it out. She didn't even really tell me what she did, but she's like, I don't need even a whole lot of extra yarn. I had brought a whole nother cake with me in the colorway. Fixed it right up for me, and it is tight in there. Whatever it is she did, it worked, and I'm so grateful. So again, so many awesome memories associated with this blanket. And it's not my favorite colorway in the world. I prefer peaches and salmons, which this looks very, very orange, but I think you can tell with the orange here that it's not. Nope, it looks the same. That is hilarious. These colors, this color right here and this color are as different as night and day in real life. This is a very traffic orange. That's true to color, okay? This is salmon. Why that always turns out looking so orange is just beyond me. So anyway, this is Grant's very first blanket that his mama made him. This again is the Bernat Softy Baby Stripes variation. Whoo, those oranges are blowing out my camera, so sorry about the different color variation, you guys. But this is the Bernat Softy Baby in stripes, the stripes cakes. This is the Bernat Softy Baby regular skeins of solid colors, okay? But both of them have that really lovely sheen. They are so very soft, really satiny and beautiful. Lovely, lovely yarn to work with. Unfortunately, in my Joann's, it doesn't seem like Bernat yarns are really stocked. And if they are, it is just the blanket yarns, or like Bernat Pipsqueak here and there, more of their novelty yarns. And I really think that's a shame, because the Bernat yarns that I have had opportunity to work with have been really lovely. So maybe we'll get some more into our Joann's sometime soon. So there is that. And then the last blanket I have to show you. is a basket weave blanket, another pattern by Bella Coco here on YouTube. I will link that down below as always. And this is a pretty good size one. This is one that several people, I know Nancy asked me about this from She's Got Yarn Too. Hi Nancy, she's got a channel. Check her out down below if you'd like. I'll go ahead and link her. She's a brand new channel, very nice lady. Also, hope you're watching this. Also, this is, I think Tracy from Crochet Rocks was also commenting on this blanket. I'm sure she is not watching, but she has said that she subscribed. She's super awesome, nice lady. I'll link her down below as well. Most everybody should know Tracy. If you don't know Tracy, head on over to her channel. Please join her family. Let her know I sent you. Tracy's awesome. She has some great lives as well, and beautiful tutorials. So several people have commented on this blanket. It has been in the background several different times. This is the basket weave as tutorialized by Sarah Jane at the Bella Coco Crochet channel. This is in the color Tundra, and this is Lion Brand cupcake yarn. So essentially this is exactly the same stats as the Lion Brand mandala yarn, but the cupcake was available in Joann's back when mandala wasn't, and then it seems like they've mostly clearanced out the cupcake, and the mandala I'm seeing in my local Joann's. So I'm not sure what's going on there, if they're gonna just kind of phase out the cupcake yarn, but it's beautiful. I really like working with it. I have many different colors, plan on working with it again soon. This is in the colorway Tundra. It's got beautiful, it's got beautiful beiges, beautiful kind of springy apple green, but it's kind of muted, much softer and more muted than the greens in the others. We've got a light gray, a darker kind of taupey color right here, which of course I love, darker gray, your very standard dusky blue, and then there's a repeat there. But this is one of my favorite all-time textures, if you can see that. It's just beautiful. It is an incredible yarn eater. So if you're looking to make a little yarn go a long way, this is not the pattern for you. If you are looking for a pattern that's simple enough to memorize, just lickety-split, but it's the perfect pattern to just zen out to while you're watching TV or a movie or hanging out with friends, and you want to crochet but you don't want to have to be stopping and reading a pattern, that's this for me. This and the waffle stitch, they're very similar. Front post, back post, it's just a matter of what pattern you do, whether you end up with a waffle stitch like this or you end up with a basket weave like this. But the texture is incredible. It ends up being kind of a showpiece. My mom fell in love with this so hardcore. She loves green, and she was watching me make this blanket for Grant, and she was almost on bended knee asking for one. And I ended up having her pick a different yarn, also a cupcake yarn, but one in blues and greens specifically. But in case anybody was wondering, the one I made for my mom is also Lion Brand cupcake in the color Forest Path. Real bright blues and greens mixed in with some more muted blues and greens. It's lovely too. I prefer this one. But exactly the same yarn, just different colorways, exactly the same stitch pattern. And just really fun to do. Does take a long time because each row you only get a teeny tiny little bit because you're working in those post stitches, and so you don't get quite so much height there. But really lovely blanket. This one is a rectangle. I would say it's probably 5 foot by 4. That's probably about right. We'll stand up and let you see it. Oops. I will stand up and let you see it from a distance. There is that one. So I hope that everybody enjoyed kind of a little look-see into my past as far as past finished objects. I know several people were asking to see the baby blankets that I had made for my son. And so here are 5 of them. I really kind of thought that I had made more than 5 for him, but it turns out I haven't, or if I have, I've forgotten, and they're hidden away in some closet or drawer somewhere. But I really do think I've gotten the majority of them here for you to see. I have, of course, made other baby blankets, but they have all gone to new homes for friends and family who have had babies that I have gifted. I've done a sedge stitch that was beautiful. I did a lemon peel stitch that was beautiful. I've made 2 really pretty 5-point star blankets out of white and various rainbow yarns for rainbow babies. I've had so much fun making baby blankets. It's honestly one of my favorite things to crochet. So if you have any questions, by all means, please let me know down below. I will do my best to get back to everyone. I always try to respond to every single comment. If I have not responded to your comment, I have not seen it. So I really apologize there. And definitely, leave many questions down below. what was your favorite baby blanket pattern and or yarn to use? What was your favorite baby blanket make you've ever done? Or have you never made a baby blanket? Please let me know. Chatting with you guys is always my favorite part of every video. And hello to all the newcomers. Thank you guys so much. This channel has just had a huge boom in subscriber count, and you guys are family to me. You're friends, family. I just really appreciate each and every one of you, truly and sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I want you to know that. And I just appreciate you guys being on this journey of crochet with me. Now that I've done this video, I just have this terrible hankering to dive into some of my stash and maybe make a baby blanket. I've been pushing myself not to do blankets because I want to produce for this YouTube channel. I think that might be a little bit of a side effect there. But the truth is, I love to make a baby blanket, so I just might have to jump on that one. So anyway, give me your favorite patterns down below. Let's see if I can find a new favorite pattern from something you guys have said, okay? Take care. I hope you guys have a great weekend. This is gonna go up Saturday morning, but if it's not the weekend, if it's a weekday, evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.